I scammed a scammer. Woohoo! Hey YouTube, welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. This isn't really going to be a gaming related video. I just got a story. I was talking to my mate the other day about this story when I conned a con man, or someone did rip me off, and all I wanted to do was get my money back. So I made up a story. I don't like lying, so I made up a story, and he fell for it, and it's really funny, and he's lucky I didn't go all the way with it, right? So I'm not very good at telling stories, so this video, well done if anyone gets through it, okay? I'll do my best, alright? I'll try to do it in one take as well. Oh, pressure now, I've got to do it in one take. Okay, so, it's not a lot of money as well, but it's just I thought it was a funny story, okay? And it was a happy ending for me, because I got my money back. Spoiler. So, I was working on, I've had many jobs, okay? And I was working at a job working on the trains, and it was nights, right? It was a hard, tough job, right? And a lot of targets and stuff we had to do, surprising, mind. And I was a team leader. I got quickly promoted to a team leader after like 2 weeks. I should have known it was a shit job, but the money was really good, and we got paid every 2 weeks. And when I started the job, I was about £3,000 in debt to my mother. My mother was helping me out of a bit of a situation, let's say, with my drinking habits. So I've quit drinking since then anyway. So I very quickly paid my mother off. Then I decided, I finally got a job that has got really good pay. I'm going to save for a deposit for a house. So I was saving, right? And there was loads of overtime in this job, right? But it was hard. It's four nights on, 4 days off. 4 nights on, 4 days off, okay? But you could go in 2 days extra over. If you needed extra money, you could, okay? So on this job, I don't know why I told you that. On this job, I met... At first, I didn't like the guy. My gut instinct was telling me to stay away from him. But he was all right. His father worked on the trains in the days. He was like the train conductor guy. He's one of them. And we ended up going for breakfast every morning after our shift. So it was a really nice cafe there by the train station in Swansea. And every morning we would he started off buying me breakfast. And then very quickly, I'd always return. He's like, we're taking turns, basically. Oh, it's my round. Get breakfast. But it was kind of supper. As soon as you get home, then you go straight to bed. Exhausted all day. But nights are not for me. So he was a good friend, right? But I still had this. He was a bit strange. Looking back, it was quite obvious what he was trying to do. He was always asking me about my financial situation. And when I owe money to anyone, I don't see my money as my money. I want to pay the people off, family or whatever. I've never actually borrowed money, I don't think, off a friend. If I'm out and I'm short, I haven't got any money on me, or I forget my card and a friend pays for something, I'll make sure to pay them back. I'm one of those guys, okay? So I very quickly paid my mother off. And he'd always be asking me, oh, how are you doing with paying your mother? I must have made a comment or something, like I'm saving to pay my mother off. And then very quickly I thought, well, paid that off really quickly in a couple of months. So I thought, well, I'll start saving now to get a deposit for a house. I was approaching the ripe old age of 40 at the time. And he'd always ask, but I felt down. He said, oh, how much money have you got now then? And I'd like change the subject. Oh yeah, I've got so many thousand now. And then what I used to do, right, was when I got to £1,000, that was my first milestone, right? I hadn't had £1,000 in my bank for years, okay? Because I used to, if I had a good job, I'd spend it all or waste it all on alcohol. I just couldn't save. I've always struggled. Even now I kind of struggle to save, right? But I was like laser focused. I got to get a house. I wanted to buy a house by the time I'm 40. And I was a month late, unfortunately. I was in a month after my birthday. So I nearly did it, okay? It's hard on your own, though, when you're buying a house on your own, okay? So he'd always talk about money, but I'd always like change the subject. And it's like, I don't know him that well. If it was one of my closer friends, I'll openly talk about money. I tell him how much I'm earning, blah, blah, blah. No problem. But when it's a guy, I get on with him in work, but it was something at the back of my mind saying, just change the subject, okay? I'm glad I did anyway. So he's always pressing about money. Then I changed jobs and working nights after so many months. I had a bit of a lump sum. And so I changed jobs. Working nights was terrible for my mental health, okay? I struggle to sleep anyway in the night. But I can't sleep in the day, and I was like a zombie. I was living on fucking Monster Energy drinks. I'd have like 4 a night. Maybe that's why I couldn't sleep in the day, but I was like on survival mode. It was tough going, okay? It was a hard job if you had slept. So when you hadn't slept, it was 10 times harder, okay? But I kept in touch with this guy. So I had a new job. I kept in touch with him, okay? And what I was saying earlier on, like when I got to £1,000, I'd buy something. I'd treat myself. I can't remember what I bought. Then when I got to like £5,000, I thought I'll buy an Apple Watch. Then when I got to like 8,000 or 7, I can't remember, I thought I'll treat myself to a new phone. And I remember now, it was my phone wasn't in the bed. I had a Samsung phone. Exciting story, I know. But I'm going to tell it as detailed as I can remember it, okay? So the Samsung phone had like a crack across the screen. It was working, but it was just a little bit scuffed, okay? And the camera was damaged on it or something. So my mum, it's about over 4 years ago, my mother had a dog, a puppy, Max, and we were taking photos, and I noticed the photos were like blurry around the edges. So originally I thought I'd buy a camera to remember to all these memories, but who buys cameras these days? So I looked into it, I got a new iPhone, the latest, whatever iPhone it was, okay? And then I put on my Facebook, Happy Christmas to me, from me kind of thing, one of those cheesy posts, and I showing off my new phone, isn't it? Then he straight away messaged me, what have you done with the old phone? And this guy, he always had the newest phone, the latest phone. He had the Apple Watch. He's probably the person that showed me the Apple Watch that got me to want to buy one eventually. He had a season ticket for the Swans. He was always seemed to be doing well for money. He had a wife and either 1 or 2 children, but he didn't look after anything. Like, he had a dog, a puppy, because he was shitting everywhere. He said, do you want it? I'm fed up with it. And I thought, God, that would be nice to just get rid of a dog. You got to train the dog. You got to put the hours in to train the dog, haven't you? So that's the kind of person he was, right? Easy come, easy go. So he messaged me, what are you doing with your phone? And I said, I don't know. I might give it to my mother if she wants it. He goes, I'll give you 60 quid for it. I was like, God knows, Samsung Galaxy Edge. I don't know what it was worth, but it had a crack in it. CX probably would have given me around about that. So I thought, but I asked him, I said, what's happened to your phone then? He threw it against the wall and smashed it. And he had the latest iPhone. And that's the way he was. He'd lose his temper or whatever he had going on outside of work. And he always had new stuff. Easy come, easy go kind of attitude, right? Like with that dog. Horrible people. I hate people like that, okay? That should have been a red flag, actually. So I hadn't seen him for about a month. And then he's messaging me, he wanted this phone. He said, I need it now. And he says, I'll jump on a train. I'll meet you by your house. And I thought, okay then. Because it was lucky for him, it was my day off. So he caught a train, like 15 minutes later. We went for a coffee in the cafe by where my mother was living at the time. And he said, I haven't got the cash on me, but I get paid in 2 weeks. It was like 2 weeks. Must have been a Friday. So he was 2 weeks away from pay. All my pay's gone, right? So I thought, yeah, I trust the guy, kind of. And it's not like I really needed that money. I wasn't desperate for the money. But it's the principle, isn't it? So then he went, once he had the phone, he said, yeah, you can trust me, kind of thing. I said, yeah, all right, no worries. Because I had worked with the guy for months and months and months. And then that 2 weeks, so fast forward 2 weeks, and I gave him a day. So I messaged him on the Saturday. I've just checked my bank. You haven't transferred the money? Or maybe you forgot, like a nice kind of gentle reminder or something. And then he blanked me. Then I noticed he was away with the Swans. The Swans were away, I think, somewhere like Bristol or something like that. There was loads of photos of him on his Facebook, having a good time. Okay, I wasn't worrying. So I give him another couple of days, like the Monday or the Tuesday, a message. I said, did you get my message? Just checked with my bank and no money's gone in. I said, I can come to town and meet you. I was making it so easy for him. It was more annoying than the 60 quid. Okay, it's a fair chunk of change, isn't it? I'll go far on CEX, put it that way. Yeah, fucker. So he was like, he finally messaged me back. So I transferred it. Did you give me the right details? And I was like, confirmed. Yes, these are the bank details. Yeah, I've transferred it. It says it's gone out to my account. So I said then, you liar. I thought he's fucking having me on, yeah? Straight away I thought, fuck's sake. And I let it go. And then the next day I thought, right, I'm in my bank now. I messaged him. I said, I'm in my bank now. Can you send me a screenshot? So I need to sort it out with the bank. Maybe there's a problem. I wasn't, but I was in my house, like, you know what I mean? So he said, my bank won't let me do bank screenshots of the bank transfers. And I thought, that's unusual. Mine does. And I thought, right, okay. And I thought, the phone I give you does. So I said that to him. Oh, it's funny. The phone I give you, I got a new phone now. So he'd got another phone on finance. And I thought, you should be paying for my phone first, not buying a new phone. Anyway, it was really frustrating. Then I said, shall I come and meet you and we can go to the bank and you can show me? I'm busy today. Then I'd see him up with the Swans going this, that. I think he forgot I was on Facebook with the guy. So I thought, motherfucker, right? And maybe, so I'll rewind a little bit then, right? He knew my background. This is the first job I had when I was trying to get out to retail. So I've done most retail jobs from Christmas temp all the way up to regional manager. When I was a regional manager, I reported to the director of the company and the owner of the company, okay? But I was told the director gives me instructions, but then I have the owner phoning me half the time as well to tell me what to do or whatever, vent or shout to me or whatever, right? So I done every single job between Christmas temp to regional manager, okay? So I wanted to get out of it. But he was always saying, you should go back into management. You should go back into management. And we talked about, there's a new shop opened in Swansea, a new clothes shop. I won't name the brand. And he said, yeah, you should get the manager job there. And I can be your assistant manager or supervisor. Come on. So then we had that quite a few times. I said, no, I don't want to go back into it. I don't want to go back into it. Retail, it was changing. Obviously with COVID, we didn't know at the time what was round the corner. It must be horrible working in retail during COVID. Fair play to all retail workers. I've always respected retail workers, especially at times like Christmas and bank holidays. Fair play to you guys. You're smashing it, right? So I remember that, and I thought a couple of weeks ago by, he was posting on Facebook. He was drinking out, partying, he was doing this. I thought, he owes me 60 quid. It was just festering. It was like, it was really starting to wind me up. So I thought, how can I get him back now? So what I thought I would do, I had a dream I did, right? If this idea came to me in a dream. I put a post on my Facebook. And you know, on Facebook, I don't know if you can do it anymore. You can say, who can see your posts? So I did it, friends except pretty much everyone on my Facebook apart from this guy. So I put on there, just started a new job at that company. We're looking for an assistant manager, 2 supervisors, weekend staff and 2 full-time. I made it look, from my experience, the kind of posts I used to put when I was working for the other fashion brand. I basically copied and pasted it, changed the name of the brand to this new brand there was a big sign saying this new store was opening in Swansea, and it couldn't have gone any better, right? So I even made it, I even thought about it. I thought other locations as well. We're looking for people in Bristol, Bath. I just made it all up, right? And it took me like 5 minutes to type this thing, right? Then I fell back asleep like that. Next thing, ping on my phone, then ping. He was messaging me. He was like, first message was, I thought, he's a bit arsey, he put, I thought you were going to give me the supervisor job. Question mark. Next one was, I paid your money. Next one was a screenshot of the bank transfer, the money going into my account. So he could do a screenshot of the thing, right? And I completely ghosted him. So he was messaging, I probably had, in total, not that day, about 30 messages off him. Come on, please. I didn't mean it. He owned up that he tried to scam me. I got everything out of him. I did actually message him one day. I was drunk. I wish I didn't do that. Basically telling him, you got scammed, mate. I scammed a scammer. There was no job, you dumbass. But what I was going to do, right, so I had my money and I went on my merry way, okay? But what I was going to do, I thought, what I can do now is I can say the interview, if I played along with it, said, yeah, the interview's in London, buy a train ticket, which is £90, keep your receipt because we'll reimburse you. I just bade him go to like random places in London and stuff like that. And then told him, got you kind of thing, because I'd had my money back, but I thought my goal was just to get my money back because he would have, we're even now, do you know what I mean? I didn't want to give him something because I have seen him a couple of times. He ain't got the balls to come up and say nothing to me, but he's seen me and like walked away kind of. I seen him around the football a couple of times. He's a nothing, you know, a nothing burger. So yeah, that was the story of how I dealt with a scammer. So I scammed a scammer. I don't know if you're interested in this kind of content, but I know we normally do gaming stuff. But yeah, I was talking about it. I thought, yeah, I want to share this little story with YouTube. Also, as well, any questions you've got about ideally gaming or anything you're curious about my life, within reason, don't get too personal, just ask me in the comments, okay? Just like if you got any advice, I've been collecting retro and video. I've been a gamer most of my life since I was 6 or 7 years old. We had like the Commodore 64, the Toshiba, MSX. So I've got quite a good knowledge with consoles, and I've had a console pretty much all the time up to in my 40s, which I'm in my 40s. Oh, obviously. Yes, if you've got any questions or you want my opinion on anything like that, fire away. Let me know in the comments, okay? Thanks as well to anyone that actually watched this video. It's probably boring all the way through, you know? But yeah, I like to share. I know I'm practicing as well, telling stories. And these videos are really good for my confidence and remembering, because some of the medication I'm on does mess with my memory. I think it does anyway. Or I'm just getting old. I don't know. Yeah, so thank you anyone that watched to the end. Yeah, thank you very much. Love you. Bye.